Hey guys, Jared from the Vinyl Corner, and today we are going to be looking at this big collection that I was actually given for free. So yeah, as the title says, this collection was given to me for free. The whole story behind this is my dad does house cleanouts for a living, and a woman had a brother pass away, and her brother was a big record collector back in the late 70s, early 80s, and yeah, she wasn't trying to sell the records, she just wanted to give them to somebody that genuinely cared and would keep the memories of her brother alive with the music, or just find good homes for these places. And yeah, thankfully I was the one chosen, and yeah, it was about 350 records total. You guys are going to be seeing some B-roll throughout this of some of the boxes and stuff like that. But yeah, this collection was absolutely massive. The guy was a huge bootleg collector. He had tons and tons and tons of Grateful Dead, Doors, all that kind of stuff, all bootlegs, but he had quite a bit of other stuff too. Like I said, he was a huge Dead collector, so he had a ton of 80s pressings of the Dead stuff, and yeah, there was just so much crazy stuff. And I kind of picked out a box of stuff that I kept from it. It's about 100 records of the 350. So yeah, I thought I would try and rifle through at least some of the coolest things, show off the bootlegs, that kind of stuff. And yeah, the collection was absolutely ridiculous. It was hard not keeping more of it, but due to space and just lack of interest in a lot of these records, I only kept the ones that I did. So yeah, I'm not even going to edit this one because this is just so much stuff to go through, and I kind of just want to get it done, and I'm going to do this raw. But these first two I'm actually keeping to trade to someone. This is a Mobile Fidelity copy of Close to the Edge by Yes, and a Mobile Fidelity copy of Led Zeppelin 2. Led Zeppelin 2 is one of the harder Mobile Fidelities to find, and yeah, but Noble Records, shout out to him, he's interested in these, and we might be working out a trade for those soon, so those will be going. Then some other random stuff that I kept. There's a lot of orchestral and like classical stuff that I kept out of here. Tchaikovsky 1812, Blue Danube by the Philadelphia Orchestra, Pink Floyd Relics. I've seen this around, and I always assumed it was just like random shit or like a compilation, but I just realized it's like unreleased stuff or like B-sides at the time, so I'm definitely going to be keeping this copy. I of course already owned this album, but this actually had a note in it from the owner, his name is Tom, to another woman, and I felt like I kind of had to keep this one just for sentimental purpose. And then trudging forward, we got Any Day Now by Joan Baez. This is actually an original on Vanguard, which is pretty cool. It's not worth a ton, but Joan Baez, her early stuff was pretty cool. Crosby, Stills and Nash, Four-Way Street. Again, most of these are going to be 80s pressings. Some of them are originals, but most of them will be 80s. This Genesis Live bootleg, he really loved Genesis and all of that stuff. Muddy Waters, King B. This is an original, as well as Muddy Mississippi Waters Live. This is also an original. This is a late 70s repress of Pearl by Janis Joplin. I've had a reissue for the longest time, so that was cool. This Peter Gabriel live bootleg called Chrome Dome. I haven't gotten a chance to listen to that one, but I like Peter Gabriel a lot, and Peter Gabriel plays live. Just never had this one, so it was cool to get that one for free. Like I said, the dude was really into Genesis, so he has a ton of their stuff of all different forms. Sorry, I don't do rare like raw videos like this, so I apologize for all like the moving in and out, but there's just too much to be editing. This Altered States soundtrack, this is really weird like noise stuff. I found out about this through the band Clipping, so that's pretty cool. If I remember right, this was a bootleg. This is Grace Slick and Jefferson Airplane doing live stuff. I have no idea what this is, but this is my favorite movie. This is Apocalypse Now. Rhythm Devils play river music, so that's pretty cool. Nazareth, Hair of the Dog. I've just heard a lot about this and wanted to listen to it. Naz, this is a classic. That's on red vinyl too, if I remember. This is a compilation that was put out by Rough Trade back in the 80s of like women's bands at the time, and this was going for a pretty penny, so I wanted to listen to this before thinking about if I wanted to get rid of it. Rocky soundtrack, not much to be said there. Everyone's just kind of got to own that. This is cool. This is Shel Silverstein, Freaking at the Freakers Ball. I haven't listened to this, but obviously Shel Silverstein like wrote a bunch of children's books and stuff. And there's a song on here called I Got Stoned and I Missed It. So hearing a children's writer write a song like that had me interested. Vangelis, Heaven and Hell. This guy really liked his new age stuff, so I kept some of that. Monty Python's Contractual Obligation album. I just think Monty Python's fucking hilarious, so I wanted to listen to that. National Lampoon, Sex, Drugs, Rock and Roll, and the End of the World. This just had a really good cover. And then we have an 80s press of Bowie Diamond Dogs. It was either a 1979 or a 1980s press, if I remember, on the two Bowies. Speaking of the next Bowie, we got Aladdin Sane. Again, this is a 79 repress. I've never heard this, and I just thought it looked interesting. This is Kathy Fink and Friends, Grandma Slid Down the Mountain. It just looks like some bluegrassy, folky stuff, so that looked pretty cool. Hendrix Cry of Love. Dude was a huge Hendrix collector as well. You'll be seeing some Hendrix boots. But yeah, that was pretty cool. I've had that before, but I've gotten rid of it, so I thought I would keep it in honor of Tom. A lot of the Dead stuff, again, is 1980s pressings. This is Anthem of the Sun. That was one I was looking for because I only had the reissue. Stevie Wonder, Inner Visions. This is like a later repress as well. Neil, After the Gold Rush. This is actually an original reprise with the gatefold. This is also an original. Rust Never Sleeps. I actually switched out my copy of my collection for the one, so... and this is Neil Young with Crazy Horse. Everybody knows This Is Nowhere. Again, I had like a 2010 reissue, so I thought that would be cool to have an older press. More Dead. We got Oxamoxoa, 80s press. Pretty cool. This is an original Warner Brothers press of Grateful Dead Working Man's Dead, so that was pretty cool. And then we got Grateful Dead from the Mars Hotel. This is an original 74 Grateful Dead Records pressing. The guy's favorite band was Dead, so anything I didn't have by the Dead I tried to keep, again, in honor of him and to respect his sister's wishes for what was getting done with his collection, and plus I'm just a big fan of the Dead, so obviously I'm not going to be saying no to any free Dead stuff. Then we got Bob Marley and the Wailers' Birth of a Legend. This is like a compilation of early stuff with the Wailers. This is really cool. This is a Cream bootleg, BBC 66. Have not given any of these really a spin yet, so I can't talk about them. But yeah, like I said, I just got them over the weekend. So, and then this is the Cream reissue where it's fresh Cream with the bonus track. So that was really fucking awesome. This was really cool to find. This is a yellow cover version of Nevermind the Bollocks. Again, it's an 80s press, but still very, very cool. Another bootleg, we got Led Zeppelin. I forget what this one is called. It has some weird name. But yeah, this is a really cool one. Again, haven't given it a spin, but this is on Runedog, so very cool. And then another Zeppelin bootleg, we got Live in Seattle 73 tour, so very cool. Can't go wrong with some Led Zeppelin stuff like that. This is a Hendrix thing. I forget exactly what's all about this. And then we got a 78 repress, I believe, of Court of the Crimson King. I already have an original, but, you know, can't have too many copies of that. This was one of my favorite things in here. This is In God We Trust Inc. EP by the Dead Kennedys. He had like a couple punk pieces and they were all great, all originals. So yeah, this is actually an original static press from Italy. So that's pretty cool. Then we have this 80s repress of Velvet Underground and Nico. Again, any pressings of this I find, generally speaking, I will keep. Velvet Underground VU, this is an extra, but I just like having extra Velvet Underground stuff because they're one of my favorite bands. This is a later repress of Imagine by John Lennon, classic, you know, got a lot of good tunes on there. This is an original of Magical Mystery Tour. He had a lot of Beatles. Unfortunately, a lot of them were super beat up, but I kept a couple. This is an original stereo of Sgt. Pepper. Again, I've had a repress of that. That was like my first record I ever bought, that and Revolver. So, yeah. And then we got Blind Faith here with the naked cover. But yeah, great album. You know, I don't really need to say much else about that. And then this was another one of my favorite things. This is an original Homestead press of Flipper Generic. Again, have had a repress of that for a long time, but wanted an original. That's one of my favorite punk records. Means a lot to me personally. We're about a third of the way through the box here, just to tell you how many great things are in here. Getting into a couple Pink Floyd boots, we got Raven and Droolin' with this cover. And then we also have Raven and Drooling on this one, so I'm peaked to see what the differences are between that. And then this is Violence in Birmingham. You know, bootleg Pink Floyd stuff can never go wrong. This is live 67 to 69, another bootleg, but my favorite Pink Floyd stuff is the earlier stuff. At least Piper's my favorite overall Pink Floyd album, so finding that early stuff is pretty cool. The Man, I haven't heard that one. I've heard a lot of people talk about this. This is Dark Side of the Moo, so that's pretty cool. And then we got Floyd's of London over here. Then we have a later Warner Bros. Pressing of Sabbath Paranoid. I just want to compare it to my copy, see which one's nicer. This is a second issue of Black Sabbath self-titled. Haven't had a used copy of that. I've been looking for an original for a while, but yeah. Then we got some Doors boots. We got Critique here. Then we got Mr. Mojo Rising, which is pretty cool. This looks like it has a bunch of interesting stuff on here. And then we got this really awesome picture disc here, where on one side it's a picture of Jim, and then on the other side it just says The End, and it's just the song The End, which is my absolute favorite Doors song. So yeah, it was a really unique piece. I've never seen this before, not even like around, just browsing, so that was pretty cool that I got to figure out that exists and own it at the same time. This is a lot of records, guys. I'm sorry, it's probably like crazy to take in, but yeah, it was just so much cool stuff. I'm gonna restack these and then sorry about that, the stack kind of fell over. But continuing with the Doors, we got Alive She Cried, which is a legitimate release, just never had it. Live at the Hollywood Bowl, again, just never had it. And then two Hendrix boots, we got Loose Ends here. Or maybe this was an official thing and I just don't know. And then we got Hendrix High, Live, and Dirty, which got the Rated X, which is pretty fucking cool. And then we're about to get into a cornucopia of Grateful Dead bootlegs. Like I said, this guy literally had probably a good 24 of them, so it's going to take me a little bit to get through all of these for you guys. But yeah, the first one that we got is Cosmic Messengers. Pretty cool. I like the cover design on that. And then we got more Cosmic Messengers, or Cosmic Messages. Again, like the artwork on that. Grateful Dead, Farewell to Winterland. I've seen this one around, but again, just never heard it. Then we got Mountains of the Moon. Pretty cool. It looks like studio outtakes and stuff. Then we got For the Faithful, which I think might be an actual release, so that was just cool to have. Didn't own that one. Grateful Dead, The Cowboy's Dead. Again, pretty cool. Never heard. This I don't even know. I tried looking this up on Discogs, but I couldn't find anything. It just says 20 years on it and this on the back. But yeah, Grateful Dead. Grateful Dead Out West. Then we got European Tour 74. I have done a little bit, like I've checked most of these on Discogs, so I could pull up the shows and everything. But yeah, this is Beach Boys meets the Grateful Dead. So this is pretty interesting. I'm really piqued to see what it's all about. Then we got The Dead Non-Stop here. Then we got Double Dead, the live records set. And we also got the Make Believe Ballroom. This is about half of them, so I have one more stack of these to get through. But yeah, I listened to one of these and it sounds pretty cool, so I'm pretty excited to try out the rest of them here soon. Then we got a later 80s press of Europe 72. I have a like 2010 repress of that or whatever. This is a later press of the self-titled, their debut. More bootleg stuff. This is Dead Ahead. This one is really awesome. I love the cover for this one. This is Santa Monica Sessions 81. Pretty cool. Again, the cover for that is just really gnarly, kind of not typical of your average Dead bootleg. The Music Never Stopped. I've heard a lot of good things about this one specifically, so I want to try that one out soon. Grateful Dead recorded live in concert. Then we got, I don't even know how to pronounce this one, and it's spelled wrong. It's Pallas Decini, 1974, Volume 1, and they spelled Grateful Dead incorrectly. So that's pretty cool. Then we got Terrapin Outtakes, which that's probably my favorite like studio Dead record, so I'm very piqued to look at that. Then we also got Vintage Dead here. Pretty cool again. Then not necessarily Grateful Dead, but Jerry Garcia. This is Old and In the Way. This is a Sugar Hill press of it. And then a couple Zappa things. We got, the first one is Frank and Moon Zappa, Valley Girl. The sticker on that says 49 cents, and that record is absolutely annihilated. So I'm kind of just keeping that one because I know I couldn't get money for it even if I wanted to try. Because that record's not that good to me. So I could get rid of it if I wanted to. But yeah, it's going to be staying since it is so beat up. I don't know. This is another Pink Floyd bootleg. I just forgot to separate this one out. This is Watersgate, which is pretty cool. Getting back into Zappa, we got The Man from Utopia. Most of the Zappa stuff is like the 80s stuff on Barking Pumpkin, and so most of these are originals. This is Tinseltown Rebellion. Then we got Ship Arriving Too Late. A lot of these are really, really good. I mean, you can't go wrong with some Zappa. You Are What You Is, one of the better Zappa records out there, in my opinion. Zappa Meets the Mothers of Prevention. I've never heard this one before, but I'm pretty interested. Love Frank. Then we got this Beck, Boger, and Apis bootleg, Somewhere Over the Rainbow. So pretty cool. Not really into any of those people, but it's a bootleg, so I thought it would be cool to check out. Then we got Traffic, Low Spark. This is just a great fucking record. It's an original with the weird cut sleeve there. Then we got Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble, Couldn't Stand the Weather. My dad really likes Stevie Ray Vaughan, and his stuff's a little expensive, so I thought I would keep that. Then this is a really great soundtrack. This is Zabrowski Point. This is a soundtrack. It has like Grateful Dead, Pink Floyd, like psychedelic type stuff on it, and it's not the easiest soundtrack to find. And this was absolutely awesome to find. This is Strawberry Alarm Clock, Wake Up It's Tomorrow. I've been looking for Incense and Peppermints for a long time, but yeah, I haven't actually heard this one, but this one goes for a little bit of money, so that was pretty cool. And then the last of these aren't sleeved up because I actually ran out of sleeves because of how many records, but these are the last of the ones I'm keeping. So this is a great series for classical stuff. This is Wagner, Ride of the Valkyries. This like great performances series with the newspaper print is always really good. Then we got Stravinsky, The Rites of Spring, you know, two classical pieces. And we got George Carlin, A Place for My Stuff. I think George Carlin is usually pretty fucking funny, so I thought I would give that one a try. This one was really cool. This is actually completely like, there's no markings on it, even the serial number is scratched out, but this is a Genesis Live bootleg from the Peter Gabriel era, so that is pretty fucking cool. This is original 1984 island pressing of Legend by Bob Marley. Not the biggest fan of compilations, but everyone's got to own that fucking album. This is Cheap Thrills by Big Brother, aka Janis Joplin's first band, so that was cool. Again, that's like an 80s press. Big Brother and the Holding Company. This is an original on Mainstream. Then we also got Wake of the Flood by The Dead. Again, I believe that this is an original on Grateful Dead Records. And then the last thing is this Jefferson Airplane live bootleg. So, yeah, absolutely crazy. Like I said, that's just the stuff that I'm keeping out of here. You guys would have been seeing some of the B-roll earlier in the video of the other boxes. I mean, there wasn't bad shit in that box. Like, I'm not just trying to toss out all the stuff I don't want. There's just so much good stuff in there that I already have or that I'm not personally into. So, yeah, those are going to go find homes, and I made out really well. Yeah, this was absolutely insane to get this for free. I wanted to thank the woman from the bottom of my heart. Your brother will not be forgotten. We will find his records good homes, and a lot of them will be staying with me and be remembered forever. So yeah, guys, absolutely insane that I got all that for free, but obviously I am not going to complain. It's just one of those things that happens sometimes in life. Life gives you a break occasionally. So let me know down below, what was your favorite thing that I kept for myself? Throw some reactions to me getting all of these expensive records for free down below. And while you're down in the comments, hit that description box, check out all those links, like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to check out a video at the end of this one. Until next time, guys, have a nice day.